Welcome back, everybody. I am Bob Calvert, again, talkingwithheroes.com. Thank you for your service.us. We're just finishing up here at the 2016 R4Alliance.org National Conference. And we're sitting in the other room over there, and I had a surprise because the door opened, and this lady right here, Shanda, walks in. She knows so many people, but I'm just going to say this. I mean, in 2015, at the World Team Sports Face of America ride, she just literally rescued me. She was like an angel out of nowhere with my foot and all that. It got really bad, and here she walks in out of nowhere. The last thing I would have expected. So, just introduce yourself. Talk a little bit about your service and what you're doing, and Timber. Go ahead.
Good morning. Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Shanda Taylor Boyd, and I'm here from Seattle. Timber and I are actually here because the organization Villagers for Veterans, that was founded and started by Marie Bogdanoff. She has a heart for our veterans. She's a polio survivor, and she began this organization after just finding out the need for some of our veterans. And one of her first events that she did was a fundraiser for Johnny Peck, because his arms were not going to be, he's a quadruple amputee, and his arms were not going to be covered by the VA. So, but now the amazing thing is he has become the very first bilateral arm transplant. And his arms just, they came from someone who was, they said, technically brain dead, and now it's a huge, I think, sign of hope for the future for our surviving amputees. And so we're going to have, it's called the Run with the Real Lieutenant Dan's. It's a Lieutenant Dan 5K. It's a fundraiser for the Sinise Foundation, and we are really, really excited about what's happening here. And if I can throw in a pitch for Spartan Weekend, Spartan Weekend is going to be here, hosted by Villagers for Veterans, and we want to have as many veterans as possible here. We're going to have some activities, and we're going to be taking the pledge that no veteran will ever take their own life before calling a buddy, because we know that the suicide rate now is just, it's unacceptable, and we have to do something. The statistics are 22 a day, so, but now they're saying it's 20 a day, but I'm thinking that's not including all the suicides, and so many go unreported. But if I can say one word, it's that you guys, you're not alone. We're in this together, and we need each other. We're here for each other. We have a purpose, and the way that we're gonna do it is just by sticking together. And people like Bob and all these people who have these huge hearts are really going around spreading the message that with love and with hope and encouragement and empowerment, and our service animals. I forgot to introduce Timber. Any and everything is possible, and you guys know I have a tremendous faith in God, and I know that without him I wouldn't be here. I love to share about how I was enlisted for 3 years, and then I was the first female to attend Valley Forge Military Academy and Junior College to complete ROTC, Airborne School, graduate as a distinguished military grad, and to receive a regular Army commission. And I share that because I grew up, I spent time in the projects outside of Philly, pretty socioeconomically deprived and underrepresented. I never ever dreamed of going to college or anything, but I feel like God really, really made a way for all of this to happen, and then to go on active duty, become a military police officer. Did that for 8 years. Later on, my heart was still being called toward nursing, and I always wanted to be able to take care of our nation's heroes and their families. So I got to be an Army nurse for 12 of the 23 years. And then when I was involved in a motor vehicle accident, I was coming from Joint Base Lewis McChord. I was an inpatient psych nurse down there, and I was blindsided near the Microsoft exit. And to make a long story short, I had an undiagnosed TBI, and it went undiagnosed. First I thought it was 4 years, but then I realized from May 22nd, 2004, all the way up until December of 2008, it was almost 5 whole years. And my life pretty much fell apart, but I was so blessed with the love and support of people from everywhere, all the organizations like World Team Sports, Disabled American Veterans, and all my years of therapy, speech pathology, cognitive behavior therapy. There is a lot that we can get help with. We have to be willing to do the work, because I have worked so hard to get to where I am, because I wasn't even able to read after my injury, and I didn't know why. I could put the words together, I knew the words, but my attention span just could not do it, and I just did not want to give up. I didn't want to be here. I have to tell you, the pain, the emotional pain and the physical pain, all of that is enough to say, God, just take me home. I want to be out of it. I don't want to be a burden. I used to be able to do all these great things, but when so many people are rooting for you and praying for you, there's not a whole bunch that we won't be able to do. We might not be able to do things exactly the same way or as fast as we used to, but with adaptive sports and everything else that is offered today, our visually impaired can ski, our amputees can race, we can compete in all types of athletic events now. And I think when we go to these events, it's hard to get out and go first, because sometimes with PTS and everything else, we want to isolate. We know what it's like to just want to stay alone. But when we stay alone, we're not really getting the love and the support and that camaraderie. I would encourage anybody that's listening to this right now, if you are feeling like nobody cares, nobody understands, and that your hope is in either the bottle or some other type of substance, or even mutilation, we have to try to do what is actually counterintuitive. For us to ask for help is not what we are trained to do. And even though most of my time was in the reserves, as a military police officer and a platoon leader, I saw up close and personal the struggles. I know what the pressure is like to do great all the time. And what concerned me the most after my injury was that my daughters, my 3 daughters, who are only 8, 10, and 12, they weren't going to have a mom. They weren't going to have the mom to be there like all the other kids, because literally they had a mom who could do so much. At one time I had a small business. I was an Army nurse. I was a civilian nurse. We homeschooled. We did so many things. And so to go from doing all of that to not even knowing my really good friends' names and not being able to hold a conversation like this. All these are so many miracles. And some of the keys to showing that something was not right is the point where my girls had to start doing this. Mommy, mommy, look at me. Mom, mommy, mommy. It's okay, Timber. So we just had to just like try to put everything together. And my friends, they all knew something wasn't right too. But just with time, because we know when you have those invisible injuries and you look fine, it's hard for people to see past that. Well, you look fine. What do you mean? What do you mean you don't know how to do that? Or what do you mean you're really tired? Or what do you mean like you're focused? And a lot of times in the early stages, we can't even explain it. We don't even. How are we gonna say what's wrong with us? How are we gonna explain that when we sometimes don't even know? So, our service animals and all this awareness that we're trying to put out there about the benefits of service animals, and they do save lives. So I just hope and pray that we can have organizations more and more providing these, because Bob, you see us at these events with our service animals, and World Team Sports, they do a wonderful job, because like the first time they cover everything, and even a caregiver to be with our.
And your adoptive bikes.
Oh my gosh, the adaptive bikes, and that everything's provided, our food at most of these activities, and it's amazing because it's all for us. It's all for our nation's heroes. That's a huge way of showing appreciation. So guys, if you're out there and you're hearing this, I want you to say, I'm rooting for you, Bob's rooting for you, all of us out here. And we love you. We love you guys. Peace and God bless you.
Thank you very much. I appreciate you. Amazing that you walked in like that. I know well folks, we're finished here at the R4 Alliance National Conference. Many videos going online, so watch for them on social media. When you see one of these videos like this one, please share it with everybody you can. And to all of our men and women who are serving right now, maybe deployed, maybe in an area where you could be in harm's way, be safe, stay alert. We look forward to you coming home. God bless America.
God bless America.